Hey everyone, good morning. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue for our daily Cricut chat. I hope you all are well. I'm hoping to get a few people to join me this morning to talk about some new cards that Lori Whitlock has called Impossible Cards. And here is one of those impossible cards. I think they're called impossible cards because they don't look like a card when you're laying them flat, but then they open up like this to reveal a card. So I know that there was, good morning, Lisa. I know that there was a sale on Lori Whitlock. In fact, we talked about it, I think, on Saturday night, because Saturday was, I don't know if it was National Card Making Day, or I don't know what the exact name of the day. Good morning, Penny. Hi, Lori Jo. Hi, David. Hi, Marissa. But it was a special card day. So Lori, being someone who makes a lot of cards, had a free file, and that's the one that you're seeing here. It's called An Impossible Halloween Haunted House, I think it's called. I don't know what the exact title is, but all day Saturday, she had a sale going on with 50% off on all of her cards only. And I hope you took advantage of that sale. So what I did was, obviously, and she also had this free card. So I went and grabbed the free card before Saturday was over. And I noticed that she had added a lot of these impossible cards. And there are some that are Halloween, yes. If we go here, you'll see she added a bunch, like with a skeleton, mummy, ghost, Dracula, and a witch. And this is the one that was free. So I hope you did take advantage of that sale. But also down here, there's these ones. And if you go to the second page, she has some that are not Halloween specific, like these here. She also has come out with these floating easel cards, which I want to show you how to do as well. So I'm hoping that you guys took advantage of the, Shelly did, Shelly took advantage of the sale. So this is shop.loriwhitlock.com. So if you've never seen this site before, Lori Whitlock is a designer, one of my favorites, and she's also a part of the team at Echo Park Paper Company. But she's had this SVG site for quite a while, 5-6 years or maybe more. And so she often will come up with a new type of card, and this one is the most recent, the Impossible card. And she will have sales, usually with the middle of the month. You'll see that she has a sale. It's usually like 30% off, but her files are reasonably priced. So I wouldn't feel bad if you bought, I wouldn't feel bad if I were you and you bought something at the regular price. For example, this one here, it's $2, and that's for a personal license, personal use license, which is part of the file, and you can go up and choose commercial based on the number that you think you're going to sell. For the most part, I never pay for commercial license because I have no intention of selling these cards, and I probably won't make 50 of them, which is kind of the first step into the commercial license. So just thought I'd tell you about that. Now, I had a couple of people who asked about downloading from an iPad, and they wanted me to go over the downloading from an iPad because some of you are working on your tablet. So you want to know, can you purchase? And I always purchase my SVGs from my iPad. I usually do it at night, when I'm just sort of cruising the internet. And let's see. Hold on. And so when I purchase them, I choose to either download them from from the website that I purchased. Either download them directly for my iPad, or sometimes I'll download and wait and download from my computer. So I wanted to show you a couple of tricks on how to do that with your iPad. So I'm going to move you a little bit just to show you my iPad and how I do this. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so here's my Lori Whitlock account with my completed order that I recently ordered. I got an Impossible card sunflower and a box crate pumpkins and Impossible card. So I want to go to download files. So I already paid for this, right? So I want to go to download files and note that this is in a zip format, okay? So we're going to click on that and it's going to ask me, do I want to download it? And I say yes. And I go through whatever it is I purchased. You know, this one here I purchased much more. Looks like I purchased the same the same card twice. Oh well. I'll talk to her and she'll probably give me a credit on that. But anyway, that I do that all the time. So there are all of these files and you just hit download file and you click on it. It asks you, do you want to download? And you do. And so you hit download. Excuse me. Once you've downloaded, you want to go to this here. This is the files. Now, if you don't have that, you can easily get that from the App Store by going to the App Store and searching for files. But basically, all it does is it lets you look at your files in various locations. So here I have an iCloud Drive because I work with all Macintosh, so I work with the cloud. And then I have things on my iPad, right? And then I also go to look at download. So here are the 2 cards, or many cards actually, that I did download, and you notice that they're in a zip format. Okay, so if you want to unzip them, because you have to do that to work on Cricut Design Space, you click on it and it would give you a choice, all of these choices to copy, duplicate, right? At the very bottom, it says uncompress. Now, what it does is it opens up, it leaves the zip file there, but it opens up this folder. And when you go to this folder, you see what's in it, just like when you're on your computer. And so here is here's the picture of what we downloaded. Here is the file, the actual SVG with solid score lines. And here's the regular SVG without the solid, just like the regular dash cut. And there's also an additional thing on here to help you with print then cut with stickers. Okay, that's just a document that you can see how to do that. Okay. Yes, you absolutely can. So Leilani is asking, can you remove the zip file once it's unzipped? Yeah, you absolutely can. If you're worried about space, you can just click on it. And let me see if I opened this one. This is the one that I opened. Okay, you can click on it and you can delete it. And this is in from my iCloud Drive downloads. So here we go. So Impossible Haunted House. Let's see. Did I download that one yet? It doesn't look like I did it here. So I would do the same thing. Go down here, uncompress. Did I do the crate? Actually, I think I have crate here twice, but I don't think I ever uncompressed it. So then I can go ahead, once I do all of that, let me just see, I got all of them. The crate, I can just click on that and delete it. Impossible Haunted House, delete it. You don't have to do that, but it is something if you want to keep your files like sort of clean and organized once you uncompress it. But if you delete it before you uncompress it, then you have to re-download it. Okay, so once we open them up, we're going to go to Cricut Design Space for, wait a second, we're going to go to Cricut Design Space for the iPad or its mobile device, and we're going to upload this image. We're going to go here, right there where it says next to image, text, shapes, upload. Okay, and we get a dialog box asking us, do we want to take a photo? Do we want to select from from our photo library? Do we want to browse files or open uploaded images? So I heard somebody asking, can you see all the images you've uploaded after you've uploaded them? And that's where you can do it right here, open uploaded images. But we're going to go to browse files. Now it brings up, these are my downloaded files. So here what we're going to do is let's find our Impossible Haunted House. Okay, so here's the Impossible Haunted House. I have two choices here. I have this one, which is just the regular SVG, and I have this one that has the solid score lines, SVG. So I'm going to click on whichever one. And then what you'll see is an image, like a little dialog box. It's asking you to save the name. So save the file. So I'm going to choose LW. That's how I code them. Lori Whitlock. Impossible Haunted House. All right. And then I have to hit save. Okay, so once I do that, it brings me to, these are all the images that I've downloaded here. So I can now create a file. So all you've done is you've downloaded, unzipped, and now you've uploaded to Design Space, but you haven't yet created a Design Space file. So to do that, you would click on the image that you wanted to do, and then you go down here and hit Insert. This is the same process as, so there's my download file right there on my iPad. Okay, and then we still have to do the things that we do on the desktop, which is we've got to cut this with, we have to decide, do we want to use the envelope, which you guys know me, I don't really care for envelope, and then you have to make some changes, and I'm going to actually bring you to my screen now to show you the changes so one point to make is that once you've uploaded a file into Design Space, you'll find it at both places. So you'll find it on your desktop and your iPad. But until you do that upload to Design Space, you probably won't see it on your computer. So keep that in mind if you're going from one to the other. So here is our file that I uploaded. Both here, I did it right here. See that? Those are those files that we saw already. So I'm going to just pull it in again so you can see what it looks like. Okay. All right. Whoops. Did I shaded out the wrong one. Okay. So this is the file that she gives us. And there are a couple of options here that you should know about. One is if you wanted to do a print and cut version of the haunted house, she's given us that. And if you want to do a cutout of the house, she's also given us that. Also over here, she gives us this little sentiment that I wanted to do print then cut on. So I'm going to show you how to prepare it for print then cut. So the first thing that I would do is ungroup this whole thing and get rid of the envelope because I don't like envelopes. Now, this is the print and cut version. This here is just a message, print and cut version, optional, so you can get rid of that. But then you've got this, and even though it says it's the print then cut version, it is not yet in print then cut format. And to make it into print then cut format, we need to flatten the image, okay? So right now, if we were just to cut this out, it would just all be in bunches. It have the white, the purple, the orange, and the black, and there's also some gray there. So we need to make it a print then cut if we're interested in making this a print then cut image, okay? And we do that by flattening it, which is down here next to attach, and it's like an arrow going down through. So once I do that, you notice that the image changes slightly, and it's because it's become one layer. So what used to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers with 5 different colors, it now has become one layer. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here with the sentiment, because it always comes in, if you notice up here, it shows as cut, right? And cutting out that small sentiment is just too difficult. So what I do is I select both the image and the piece below it. That's important. If you didn't do the piece below it together, then it will cut out around the words. It won't look good, okay? So, and I've seen people struggle with this, so this is an important point. Then we're going to also flatten this, and you'll notice it comes up looking different, and the white is sort of, you can't see the edges around there, but they're there, okay? They're there. Yes, you absolutely can change it to draw. So to change it to draw, I'm going to unflatten it. I think, let me see. I unflattened it. And you can see over here, you would change this. Over here, it says cut. And then with this like line print, you would go up to line type, which is up here. And you would choose no fill and then switch it to draw. And this is what it looks like. Now, these are kind of hollow letters, so it won't shade in the inside of the letters if you did do it drawing, okay? You can't print then cut. Yeah, I understand. So that's what important we want to do. Also, we need to, you can't see it on this piece, but there is I'm going to move all these around. There is a score line, which I actually moved it away from. Sometimes the score lines are attached and sometimes they're not. So let me just move this piece and this piece. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can move this. So I need to make sure this piece is attached with the score line. So I'm going to, sorry. Okay, I'm going to select it all. I know you can't see the score line, so if you want to change it to say, I don't know, white, so you can see where the cut and score is, you can do that and then change it back to the black if you want to. And then I'm going to attach at the bottom here where the paper clip is. Now, when I move this piece around, the score line is attached to that piece. I'm going to change the color back to black. Okay. So that's all you have to do. Whoops, what did I do? Okay, here we go. That's all you have to do in terms of making adjustments to this project. And then let's talk a little bit about print then cut, even if some of you, I always forget it too. Even if some of you are not capable of printing then cutting, what I have done is I have cut out using sticker paper, and I got like a whole bunch of sticker paper in 8.5 by 11, and so I use it and I try to, so if I went to make it, oops, I should probably go back and flatten that. Let me just do this. Instead, I'm going to flatten it. Okay. So when I went to make it, you'll notice that I have these two items in a box, and you need those boxes. That's registration marks. And that will first print out using my printer that's attached, okay? Nothing prints from the Cricut. So a lot of people get confused. Do I print it from the Cricut? No. You need to have a printer attached to your system, whether wirelessly or, through a landline or a hard wire, right? So in this case, because I'm a frugal person, I probably would make more than one, maybe even three, just so I could use up more of the paper that I had. And that's just that, because I don't like to use just a little strip, because once you use that little strip, you can't put it back into your printer. So there's that. And then you'll see here that everything is tripled, right? So this, in addition to doing the print and cut, in this version, I didn't erase the actual cutting pieces. So I want to go back, and I'm going to shade out this piece, and then let's go to make it again. And now we're down from 8 mats to 3. I'm going to change this to 3 print then cut, and you'll see I've got 1 orange and the black. I'm not sure if this black is going to fit on that other mat, but let's try. Move the object to here. Let's try. We might be able to fit it if we move these things. This might have to move around a little bit. Oop. Oh yeah, that works. That works. It's kind of close there though, so I might move this one a little bit too. There we go. So now I'm able to get all 3 of my cuts onto just 3 mats. I have my print and cut mat, I have my regular cut mat, and in orange, and then I have the black. So if we continue and we go to, we're going to select print and cut first. It asks us if we want to send to the printer our print and cut options. And yes, I do. So I'm going to hit that green box, and here it just shows the printer that it's going to print to and how many copies. So if you want to make more than one, you can. I always have the bleed on because it allows for a little bit of extra room around the cut images in case, you don't want to see that white, okay, around it. And then I'm just going to hit print. And it's going to print to my printer that I have already loaded with my sticker paper, and I can hear it printing now. Okay, so this is print and cut. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it after I've printed it. I'm going to cut it, so I'm going to put it on a mat, and I'm going to cut it from there, and I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm putting the paper, this is the printed paper, and I'm putting it right up here on the corner like this. And you notice we have this black they're called registration marks, and we're going to put them on our mat, and we're going to move over. Now, my sticker paper, because I've tried it many times, does not cut well using sticker paper. And this is important. I want for you to understand this because it's really useful. Last night, someone was asking in the group about sparkle paper. Now, sparkle paper is a thicker paper. It's not I think this is sparkle paper. Yeah, this is sparkle paper. It's sort of thick, kind of the thickness of craft board. And they were having a hard time cutting the sparkle paper. So what I would suggest is, if you're ever having trouble where you're like, it's just not cutting all the way through, is you're going to have to pick a different setting, or you may have to change the setting for your particular machine, because sometimes machines are a little bit off kilter. They don't always cut the best on that setting. So I want to show you how and where you would change a setting. So for me to cut a sticker paper, it goes all the way through, and I don't want that. I just want to cut out the top layer of the sticker paper. So I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here, and in green it says material settings, and it brings up all the custom materials. Now I have a maker. I'm working from a maker. So this may be look slightly different for you. And if you were going to print on custom materials, you have to have your dial set to custom, okay? But what brings up is these are all the different settings that are preset in your machine. There's a lot of them, right? So in terms of sparkle paper, it's just alphabetical. So here's sparkle paper, and we have a couple of different columns. We have this column, and this column. And under sparkle paper, the first number, 292, is the pressure that your machine uses to cut out the paper. The second number, where it says 2x, is the number of times that your computer or your printer, your Cricut is going to cut it out. So in this case, sparkle paper has a 292 pressure, and it cuts twice. And the third column is what kind of blade it uses, fine point blade. But for that person that was having trouble with sparkle paper, you can then go over here and edit your pressure. So you'll see it's like a little bar, and right now it's set for 292, and I can move it just ever so slightly up to, say, 300, or I can change the number of times that it cuts automatically. So there's 3, and I don't think that you can actually change the blade, but if you had the opportunity to change the blade, it probably would give you that opportunity, because it does have an up and down arrow. Okay, so that's how you go ahead and make changes. Now, for instance, with sticker paper, so I'm going to cancel this out. With the sticker paper, it's too thick. It goes in too much. So I would go to edit, and I would then make it ever so slightly less, you see? And this one here, it doesn't have the times. It's just going to cut one time. And then I could save it. And just to kind of give you an idea, washi sheet or washi tape is what I normally cut my sticker paper at, and it is at 85. So now I've set my sticker paper, where is it, to 70. Maybe it's a little too much, right? So I don't want that. So maybe I would set it for 85 here instead, right? And that way I can choose that setting without having to make an adjustment in my head. Okay, this is how I can make my Cricut work for me. Okay, so this is advanced stuff. Okay, it is definitely advanced stuff. But if you get to a place where you're trying to cut something that you just can't seem to get a good cut for, remember this part. Tearing paper, Dorothy, generally is it's either from your blade is getting old, or you don't have it on a great mat, like maybe the mat still has like pieces of paper stuck to it. Maybe you need to clean the mat. Often I will take the the blade out of my housing just to see if there isn't, especially because I cut a lot of glitter cardstock. So oftentimes that glitter goes up into the housing and causes problems. And then as far as tearing paper, sometimes it's just the paper that causes that. But if you've changed, for instance, the mat and you've changed the blade, I would go in order of look at the mat and see, is it a dirty mat? Because that often will cause a problem. Then look at the blade, make sure it's cleaned off, and then try it again. And then if it's still tearing the paper, then you've got to consider the material that it's on, or you have to consider changing out the blade, because if you've been cutting with the blade a lot, and like I do change my blade out. Like I'd say it's every 6 weeks, and I am a daily cutter. Okay. I cut every day. So anyway, here we go. Here's my, printed thing. I'm going to choose washi sheet anyway, and I'm going to hit C, and it's going to cut out all of my pieces that I have on that sheet. And you notice that what the machine does is it has a sensor, and this is why this does not work for the Joy. Okay, print then cut doesn't work for the Joy because the Joy doesn't have a sensor, and usually you can see it lights up, and it's going around and it's looking at all of those lines, and it's trying to determine, okay, how am I going to best cut what's in the box? That's what that is doing. Annette, that I think is a slightly different problem, 12 to 14. Annette's saying that she can only get 12 to 14 cards on her Joy before she has to change the blade and the mat. I don't know the answer to this. So I did ask in the Cricut group what those blades are made of. My personal experience is that you do have to change the blades quite frequently with the Joy, and there's no way of really sharpening them. But as far as the mat, changing out the mat, they did make an allowance with the mat by the card mat. I'm assuming you're talking about the card mat. So the card mat, they did make a change so that the price of it was lowered substantially. It was originally priced at like $14.99, but when they heard that it didn't cut as many insert cards, they changed the price of the mat to $5.99, which is the retail price, and the one that I've seen in the stores. So that might answer some of that question, Annette. So we're just cutting out the print and cut. I'm going to show you how to put it together once the print and cut's done, which it is. And there's my print and cut sheet. So you can see here, and I'm going to show you how to put this together, but you can see here, let me just get it going. Hold on. Okay. So this is my sticker, right? Now, I could have printed then cut on cardstock if you don't have sticker paper and then use glue. But here is the print and cut sticker that I'm going to just use on the card. I'm going to show you how to build it both ways, okay? So let's go ahead and put this thing together. So simple. I actually probably would make this larger just because it seems a little small for me. This is the completed one based on the sizes that she gave us. But I think it would look a little bit better larger, but that's just my eye. So let me show you. I got all of this cut out. All right. So the reason she calls it an impossible card, I guess, is that it's flat. It's pretty flat. It doesn't look like a regular card. So this is your main piece. I've got a couple of those here. And there is one score line, and it's right here. You can fold it like this. And then what ends up happening is it goes, I have to make sure I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so it goes that like this, and then open it. Why am I, oh, here we go, sorry. It goes like this when it's open, so that there's a space here. Okay, so fold it like this, and then twist it around like this. Okay, and here are the pieces. Now, if you wanted to do this print then cut like this, it would just go right on here. You have to have good balance, and I'm sorry if I'm slightly out of camera. Okay, here we go. All right, so that way you don't have to cut out these little tiny pieces, and these pieces are tiny. Look at, that's one of the pieces, but I'm going to show you how to put it together if you just want to do the cutouts. And I changed the background for the house to yellow because I thought it looked better yellow. Right, so there's that, and then all the little pieces that go on are, there is part of a roof. This, I guess, is a balcony. And then there are these little pieces that are for the turrets. 1, 2, 3. So that's, if you want to do the print and cut sticker, that's how it turns out. If you don't, this is how it turns out. I'll put it together so you can see. These areas right here take a lot of cutting, and I would definitely cut that on cardstock for intricate cuts, because when I did it otherwise, it kind of got really messed up because the piece is just so small and the blade has to move around quite a bit. So it just can't, it's too much. You have to have that setting to sort of slow it down and give it some room to move around. Okay. So there it is. We can attach it if we want. You can use pop dots here if you wanted to, too. That's a possibility. Yeah, it makes it a little more Halloween-y. And you could also use like a glittery yellow, too. I've done that before with like haunted houses. All right, and then we're going to take these pieces and it's just a matter of fastening them here. And this little balcony, it's so tiny. And so again, this is one of those things I would cut on the cardstock for intricate cutting. And then I'm going to take my little turrets. I think that's what they're called. That's what I always called them, turrets. And put them on. So just to give you an idea of how it looks, how different it looks. So this is the cutout one. This is the print then cut one. Okay. And then all that's left for this is to put in the pieces around the card and then the sentiment. Now, I first started out doing this, and I did the basic color that she suggested, but then I went back and looked, and I saw that she used a patterned piece, so I switched it here to pattern. So whichever you like to do, if you have some nice patterned paper you want to use, this is a great place where you can use it. So right there. And then after I do this, the last piece is the sentiment, which it looks kind of like a ticket, like from a, see, here it is. So it looks a little bit like a ticket. And this one didn't cut the way that I wanted it to because I might have used the wrong setting there. So let me, okay, here we go. So it's a sticker. And then here's the little background piece. Like, it doesn't look like a ticket. And then we're going to put it on to the background piece like this. And I like it to pop a little bit, so I would probably use some of my foam piece. This is just the outside edge of that foam. All right. Flip this over. And then put it here, I guess. So that is the impossible card. And so you, to put it in the whatever envelope that you chose, or you could use the envelope she gave you, you would lay it flat like this. And then when the person opened it up, they would flip it over and they would have their impossible card. So that's how the impossible cards are to work, or how they work. So I hope that you try them. I hope you got that free one. But if not, if you like this this look to a card, which is really, it's clever. I think it's very clever. You can try it out with that free one, or with another one that you might pick out. You can try the print and cut if you have that capability. You can change out colors and patterns, paper, that sort of thing, and you can try it out. So I hope that you learned a lot. I actually put this on the wrong side. But I hope you learned a lot. I do love interactive cards myself. So this is the way it would come in the card. And then it would pop out like this. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. If you have any questions, further questions about anything like the settings, or something that's not cutting right on the setting that it's supposed to, let me know, and I can at least try to help you to understand it. Or if it's actually a glitch, then I can bring it to the Cricut folks and they can maybe make adjustments. Thanks so much for coming today. My name is Rita, and this is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. I hope if you're not watching this live, that you catch me on the replay. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am almost at 8,500 people. I'd love to hit 10,000. That's my this year's goal, is to hit 10,000. Thanks, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. It is simple, Marcella. It is simple. All right. Thanks so much. Can you do custom settings? I believe you can do the custom settings on the Joy. I'll have to check that out. Okay, I'll check that out for you. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.